Dude, sometimes you're up there and you're playing a part and you know you're on the right center rise and you're just like, oh, the camera's definitely looking at me.
Is that actually something you guys are conscious of? We're
I have.
Yeah, we're right.
Yeah, you know how we do it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Is that something you actually...
I do sometimes, like, not always, but then you'll be up there and you'll be opening a song and it's only you and suddenly you're like, and you got the concentration face and you're like, that was not camera.
No.
That was everyone.
But also you get the singer face.
I had it the worst.
as well.
I had the sunscreen raining into my eyes face where I'm playing the start of Remedy and literally sitting there like this, just like open my eyes for a split second and all people would see is like me just tears streaming down my face.
John
and then
Rick's
my eyes
emotional about
closing.
that song.
Yeah, it's like,
wow, maybe heavy
he
music
doesn't
is
really look
emotional.
sad. He actually kind of looks pissed off. Like, that's what I was feeling.
Just
the
like
whole
really
time.
red eyed.
I was just like, I could open one eye and just sit there like that. That's
Yeah,
about
did
as
you,
far
like-
as I could open it.
How was it? Rick kept winking at me?
yeah, there was a lady operating the camera in front of me, and I was like, I just don't want this to be misconstrued by anyone.
so sorry.
So I turned back and looked at that crew, and I was like, and they came and...
As people that all live on the east coast of Australia and enjoy the beach, I assume. No? Okay, well, maybe this explains what I'm about to say. We know that you need to put the sunscreen on 10 to 15 minutes before you go in the water, because otherwise it's just going to go, douche, you got to let it absorb.
Yeah.
But you don't do it, and then you've only got yourself to blame, because as soon as you jump in the water, you come up and you're like,
I feel like the water does one thing, though, and the sweat does another thing. Like,
That's true.
Sweat in your eyes.
yeah,
that's
sweating
true.
it out.
Yeah.
the sweat's sweating it
Yeah,
out.
and like sweat is like a little bit like salty in the first place. So then you get that coupled with sunscreen, it's just like double burn.
So I feel like it happened all simultaneously too. Like he got it the worst, but around the same time I was looking at everyone suddenly like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, I got it the exact same time both days. Remedy.
Yeah.
The first time I couldn't see it all. The second time it was one eye. So,
So
sitting
what
there
you said
like
is
this going,
next show you're going to see like little sweatbands with like Polaris logos on
Genuinely,
them. Just,
it's
that's
a
cool.
great
That's
idea.
when I run. Because I
actually-
run and get so sweaty.
Sometimes when I'm playing the satiny kind of finish, the gloss finish on my base will literally tug on my. I'll get like tears here, so I think like a sweatband could be pretty stylish.
Just saying.
Yeah, there we go.
bit of a
There you
tennis
go.
spit.
I'll have to work on my next merch line.
Hell yeah.
Johnny's face on a sweatband.
Absolutely.
Or just like,
Yeah,
like
two of
the
these guys.
90s leather style.
Yeah, pups.
Yeah, that'd be
That's a
pretty
good
cool.
look.
I feel like that's actually a pretty fair look here too. That's kind of
You get away
valid.
with
I don't know if you've been out in the crowd, but it's a lot of black and studs and
Did you ever
It's very
do
good.
like go to the show and dress for the show?
not quite. I was an emo kid when I was younger, but not as emo as like you would
Yeah.
expect.
Yeah.
I never really represented. Like the furthest I go is a band shirt.
Yeah.
Band that's playing properly, you know. Try to show my support.
Sure.
I had a
That's
bit
about
of
as
a
far as I go.
bit of a scene haircut, but it was still no dye, no black
It's
hair.
crazy though, because you see some people at shows like this where they're going to be out in the sun from 11 in the
Oh,
morning
dude.
until 11 at night. You're like,
In jumpsuits.
it's
Yeah.
38 degrees and
Jumpsuits
you're
and a
wearing,
mask.
yeah,
It's like you're in a
Crazy.
boiler
you're
suit.
going to die.
Like, the word is boiler suit. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here? It's summer.
Boiling suit.
Yeah.
I just want to show you guys this photo. I'll put this on the screen for you guys.
Oh, fuck off, man.
I have a whole collection of.
Oh, dude.
Look, the scarf with the t-shirt.
Dude,
Yes.
what a fucking time.
Yeah, I've got a lot of Johnny photos. You
You
guys
know
will
what?
enjoy that.
I couldn't tell if that was a V-neck or if that was just big.
No one knows.
Yeah,
Looking
It's a
back at
deep
like,
scoop.
No, it was a V-neck. I had chest
was-
tats, bro. All right,
yeah, I saw the tats and I was like, that's surely a V-neck. Like, I remember the time.
looking back at it in different generational fashion, I feel like we might have had it the worst.
It's
You look
gonna come
back at people
around
that
though.
were like kids in the 80s and you go, wow, I can't believe they went out wearing that shit. And then you look at photos of us and we're all like hair like to this, taking photos.
Yeah.
and
No,
like little
Things have come
Snake
back.
bites.
The
Snake bites,
the
yeah.
hair, the hair almost came back. The skinny jeans kind of came back.
But
A lot of it will never come back.
Never, that's the
A
thing.
lot of it will never come
I don't know
back.
if it can ever come back in one.
I
think it's-
disagree. I actually
You
think I
reckon?
don't think it's gonna come back anytime soon. It's gonna come back.
Next
There's
year,
like
so.
a massive trend right now of like early 2000s
It is.
stuff that you
There
like
is.
5 years ago be like,
Yeah.
that fucked.
Y2K is exploding, that's for
It's
sure.
gonna come around.
I need to see you in a grey mile V-neck, like past the nip, and then like tight skinny black
I'll be
jeans.
46.
With,
Could
like-
it ever be?
Wait, what shoes go with
Wait,
it?
it's still how I dress.
Slip-on bands?
They were the Ravens, remember them?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what though?
There you
It's
go.
it's weird the fashion thing, because I used to be into the tighter band shirts, and yes, my body is not as good as it used to be.
It's better.
But when I found like big shirts, like drop shoulder shirts, I was like, I could have been comfortable for like the last 15 years.
But that's really skinny jeans now,
Dude,
mate.
yeah, that's...
I still wear skinny jeans.
When I
Why
stopped
not?
wearing skinny pants on stage, it was a big brain moment for me. I was like, oh wow.
I can
I don't
imagine.
have to have a million ingrown hairs all over my legs when I
Yeah.
finish tour anymore. That's amazing.
I was trying to convince Jamie when we were up in Brisbane just the other day. I was like, man, it might be time to just have some like normal straight-legged cut pants. He's like, just can't do it, man. And I was like,
he does the skinnies and the long shirt
He
over
does,
the top
yeah.
every show.
yeah.
So you're a madman.
I'm
He
just
does.
like, brother, it could be easier. Could be nicer.
He-
Could get
Why are you
some-
doing that
He's
to yourself?
single-handedly,
Could get some airflow
he's
around
single-handedly keeping it alive.
He
Because
is,
it's
yeah.
coming back.
I've got a platform, man. I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Tight jeans and
Fine,
good
yeah,
shirts.
skinny and flannel forever.
Hey, let's talking about exposure. Let's talk about you guys and the whole footy thing,
yeah.
eh?
Yeah, that was
Couple of footy boys.
I mean, it's. I mean, I'm gonna just speak
Hey,
on
all
behalf of
sports
the band
fans.
and just say that like none of us are great big footy fans, but like within our family and friends, we have so many.
Just want to really get that
No,
out.
like,
Yeah.
I mean,
In case anyone's
We don't
watching.
belong here?
I just don't want any follow-up questions where we're just gonna go.
Mate,
So who's your favourite player?
I personally-
Nathan Cleary.
I've
of
actually
course.
followed sports ball all my life, so he can speak for himself.
There you go.
What is your favourite sport?
My favorite sports is sports ball. My favorite team is the backstage press, and that's all I know.
All right. Well,
Do you have a favourite sport?
I like golf.
That is the least sporting sport.
Are
You said cricket, it's up there.
I'm
Hearing
I'm
golfers
actually
call it
30.
like try
31.
to call it a sport is always a bit of a stretch.
I like to drive a car around a green
Hey,
field.
bro, you get like 10,000 steps in one game, so that's a sport.
Sure.
If sport was day drinking essentially.
You know what? It's
Hey,
really
I don't drink
interesting.
out of the course, so it's
Interesting
still a sport
dynamic
to me. Goddammit.
of
Do another
seeing
years.
the festival crew. Metalheads are so obviously not that. Like, you go to any other festival, you're like, oh, that dude's the gym guy, that guy's this. There's like a whole different thing. You come to a festival like here, and you can see that it's kind of the same demographic, the whole thing. Like, we watched Miss and I do this like circle pit around the tower, and one run, and everyone was just fucked.
Yeah.
'Cause they're like, we don't run. We
So,
got
yeah.
the cardio.
You were just calling
Front of
out
house
the
is bigger
entire
than we
metal and
thought.
emo scene for not having their fitness in check. That's really good.
I'm trying to sell my program,
That's
to you,
really-
but I can help.
That's really good. I've seen you guys out there, and you need what I'm selling.
I'm gonna see a targeted ad and be like, "Circle pit's wearing you out. I can't get to the end of the wall of death without being out of breath."
Getting knocked down too easy in the mosh pit.
Oh my god, I can just envision
Dude,
that, like a wall of death, and then everyone runs to each other but kind of just gets puffed halfway and stops and just all walks past each
Everyone is
other.
like, "That's just you get it."
That's-
Waving each other
I feel
off.
like you might actually be onto something because I feel like nobody's questioning their own fitness as much as they do at the end of a festival day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really gets drawn to your attention when you've just simply been standing watching bands and somehow that's taken it out of
It
you.
is a different
Yeah.
thing though. I had the idea here, I'll pitch this to you guys, and you guys can hear this as well. So years ago I went to a Comic-Con,
Oh, yeah.
and I was like, all these Wolverines look shit. I could train, put like, this is the place to do programs. Be like, get Wolverine fit or get like, look like Cyclops.
Yeah.
I can do that for them. Imagine how much money you can make. They're not going to do
Turn
it.
these wolves
Unfortunately,
around
it's
into
for one day of the
Wolverine.
year, so it's a hard sell.
Or they make a career doing OnlyFans Wolverine.
Or they'll reference X-Men episode, fucking magazine issue 200,047 where there was fat Wolverine, and it's actually canonically like.
Yeah, I'm a deep cut. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
actually pasty,
You know,
emaciated
I'm a deep-
Wolverine.
Yeah.
This is the thing though. When I look at somewhere like Comic Con and you think of the traditional nerd, like comic nerd or geek or whatever, I expect them like to have that body type. The one that gets me is the ones that look like him
The Jack Nerd.
and are just like
Henry Cavill.
The king
Yeah,
of the
the Henry
nerds.
Cavill.
Yeah, Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
They're at home and they're like building their gaming PC so they can bench it.
It's like that. It's like that Simpsons scene with Rainier Wolfcastle being like the what is
Yeah.
it, Attack of the Nerds or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
One day the nerds shall inherit this earth. Oh.
Anyway. Yeah.
I'm just liking hanging out with.
This is the
Yeah.
dichotomy of you two. It's just
You-
fit,
you-
non-fit, is it? That's
You're the first person that's ever said I'm enjoying hanging out with two of me.
Well,
Most people can't handle one of me.
let's
One of them
hanging
is
out.
silent though, so it's a
To be
huge
fair, this
improvement.
one's a lot more fun. So I'm making the
It
balance.
is. It is.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that it wasn't one where it's got a little butthole.
This one doesn't, this one doesn't argue and ask you to sit on my lap.
I wouldn't argue.
Well,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a reason he's my
Well, he's
favorite.
got two names for a reason.
Anyway, how has the festival run been with the gap in between? Did you enjoy that?
We're having fun.
Dan said he wasn't a fan of it.
Yeah, it's
no,
weird.
it's-
It is
it's-
weird.
Like I was likening it to having like a day or two off in like an overseas run where you're like, oh, day off, brilliant, hell yeah, and then you get back to the show and you're kind of like, oh, like I just didn't
should've
do.
done that.
I didn't.
It's
I
weird,
didn't do
yeah.
what I needed to the past few
Yeah.
days, and I kind of feel that now. But
Normally
at
the biggest
same
one is
time,
drinking a lot of water. And I
Yeah.
didn't. I never did.
No, I
Yeah.
really botched that the other day.
Yeah.
Where
I
I,
had
got,
4 days to do it.
I was like, oh yeah, my water bottle's right next to my bed. How can I not?
If only
drink
I
it?
could
And then
read shit.
I get up and 8 hours later, I'm like, oh, it never moved from my bed. I should
That's
go
how when
back
you
to
go
it
through a
right now.
whole day and you realize you haven't had a sip of water and you're like,
I'm in danger.
My wife is giving me one of those.
Yeah, that's why I
calls.
feel the way that I do.
Yeah. There's a reason for this headache.
But the irony is normally I'm really good at it.
Up the stairs once.
Normally my body will just keep reminding me throughout the day to keep sipping. It's those days where you just don't get thirsty and you're like, oh, I feel like shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But no,
But yeah, that's my last.
generally,
couple of days,
yeah,
not
the
playing-
days
not
off
drinking
were
enough
nice.
water.
Yeah, the days off were nice to like, it's always nice to like recalibrate and get home. But now I'm out here and I'm like, it doesn't really feel like a festival, especially hanging with you guys. Like, I should be on my back patio hanging out.
I feel
We should do that again.
Yeah, we should, honestly.
I fell back into the Minecraft hole.
Oh,
Yeah, we were playing that a few
okay.
months ago,
Big
and
square
I
hole.
put that away, and then I got home, and then that's just been me the past few days. So everything I planned to do has fallen to the wayside because I've been really busy in Minecraft.
Did you guys, after Brisbane, come straight back and chill at home?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so
You don't get that much anymore, do you?
I mean,
It
not
depends
often
on the
for a
run,
festival,
eh?
right?
Yeah, this one's a strange one. The dates.
I mean, every
Right.
Australian festival is Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane. Like,
Yeah.
do it in a row,
finishing
get it
Sydney is
done.
hard.
But there was a
It's like,
date issue,
yeah.
so it's all spread.
Yeah,
and
so-
honestly, kind of good.
Yeah.
Kind of
no
weird to
complaints.
have the gap though, as you say. But
Yeah, nice. Did you fall into any holes? Did you game at all? Or
Yeah,
did you go
I played Elden Ring. I've been replaying Elden Ring, so I beat like 5 or 6 bosses,
Yeah.
chipping away.
I have a new job where I finish at 2 o'clock every day, which is great, and then it's like a few hours before the missus gets home. So I fell back into the FIFA hole
Oh.
and found myself yelling at players on my team, calling them useless,
Yeah.
and realized then, oh, you're controlling them, so you should stop doing that.
yeah, I was wondering what the go was.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
wondering if
yeah.
that was
You
going to come back
fucking
around.
useless! Why are you passing the? Oh my god, get to the ball! It's just, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you look in the
I
mirror at the
believe
end of
that.
the game and just go, it's me.
Screen goes black to load. It's just
I'm
your
the
face
problem.
staring back. You're like,
Yeah.
oh.
Welcome
you
to my life with him.
You get those, you get those
He's
moments
like,
on the,
why is this not working? Because you're not doing it.
when you're playing on the Switch or the Steam Deck and you just like, you get to the loading screen, you just get that triple chin view of you. And you're
Oh,
like,
dude, that's good.
Yeah, that's so big reflection for the moment. You're like, oh, I'm glad we're out of that loading screen so I can pretend I don't exist again.
So, has there been any changes to the set list? Because obviously you play Australia quite a bit. Do you feel like you need to keep playing the big songs, or are you guys trying to reach in and
I
grab the
think
deep
It's
cuts?
really hard to do that.
I think we all
You
came
think
into
it
this,
isn't,
yeah,
but it
with, like,
is.
We all came in being like, we're gonna really shake it up and really like pull in some deep cuts, and then as soon as you get the set time, you punch in your singles, and then you go, all right, well,
Oh,
we got
that's it.
space for 1 or 2 others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're probably not going to go too deep because we want to kind of feel
Yeah.
in, but also we kind of look at this as like the bookend to the album cycle.
That's the
So
way we
it's kinda
justified it. Yeah.
It's nice to get a lot of album songs while also sprinkling in some back catalogue to like kind of just make it a big set for everyone.
Oh, you guys have surely made peace with the fact that you'll be playing the Remedy until you die.
No. No, I mean,
He's kidding himself.
no, it's-
That fucking chorus.
it's funny. Like as he says, it's like it's one thing to take them out and then you try to put them in. You just don't know where to grab from. You don't know which one to fulfill. You're like the ones that we all choose selectively. We feel aren't even the ones that the crowd necessarily wants to hear.
No.
You guys are
Sometimes-
also a band that don't genuinely go, we're all wanting to do this. You've all got your different tastes
We're
within
pretty.
the band.
Yeah, that's so
And so
true.
when the deep cut is split 4 ways, and
It
then we
is.
all acknowledge, well, none of these are going to go as well as this other song that we could play. Then it's like,
Yeah.
all right, all
We're,
about the ball. Let's play this
we're
one.
so guilty of it though. We always, I think, we have kind of made a promise to ourselves that moving forward, we're going to start dropping out songs that you just wouldn't expect to drop, and just start trialing out sets without some all-time favorites.
Yeah, cool.
And just conditioning the crowd to recognizing that we've got so much time to play a certain number of songs. We want to pull out deep cuts. We want to put in new ones. Anything that disappears from the set is always going to come back over time.
I also feel like whilst you guys are gaining new fans consistently, there's going to be a huge percentage of the audience that have seen you multiple times. So
Yeah.
they've seen the songs, they want to hear that
and-
stuff they haven't
And
heard.
then we agree, and that is that thing. It's like that certain old ones have done so much for us, but I think that there's an excitement when a band decides to stop playing a certain record or stop playing certain songs, and it is maybe 1, 2, even 3 years
Yeah.
where they haven't touched that stuff. It always means that there's that potential to do a show where you pull from that record. It's just that much more exciting.
Yeah.
In saying that, are you still yet to play my song?
Your song?
No, we played your song.
You have?
Yeah.
Not here.
No, we
I
played it on
played
the
it.
regional tour.
We played it.
We played it for 25 days around Australia.
The one fucking show I don't go to in my hometown, mind you, and you play the fucking. Are you kidding me?
We didn't even think
you
that
didn't
song.
go.
Yeah.
No.
All in vain, right?
Yeah.
We played it.
We played it. Dude, we played it in America.
I really like
Dude, play
you.
it in
I
Europe.
really like
Yeah,
you
we played
guys.
it. We played it for a
Dude,
whole
that's like one of the few songs we actually played in every country.
Yeah.
We started playing it, and you know what? It's funny. We use the regionals to jam in songs we don't think we're going to get to fit in anywhere else because we've made a point. It's not happened yet on this record, but every other record we've played every song live.
I'm blood red mad right now.
And we put it in that set as a gimme, thinking we'll play it on this one, and no one will want to hear it again. We'll take it back.
How did it go over?
It actually
It went
pretty
alright,
good.
yeah.
Dude, we opened.
No
Europe.
one
We opened
liked it,
Europe
and they're
with
never doing it again.
Yeah.
We opened Europe with it. We did the.
Really?
We supported
Yeah, the
Beartooth. We
Beartooth
came
tour,
out and opened with it.
Yeah.
You've got
Motherfucker.
Calamar lighting engineer to thank for that.
I mean, you must have
Really
plenty of
pushing
videos out there to watch now.
Hang on. The one thing you take away is that Johnny needs to realise he can't just skip shows.
No.
Wait,
A
no,
hometown
yeah.
you know what's
show.
crazy?
That's your
That's
fault,
not getting
mate.
played again for a while. But when it does, I'll tell you.
You won't go to the show.
I'll tell you after the show.
I'm done with Polaris.
Oh, dude, I can't believe I didn't see you. We played all in vain.
Oh, I'm so sorry to laugh, but that's really funny.
Actually, just tell me when you can't make it to a show, and I'll tell you we're playing all in vain.
That's the way to do it.
Dude, we'll just come to a practice. We'll just jam for you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
As long as I just see it, that's fine. That's fine. Anyway.
Dude, I'm actually so bummed for you.
Yeah, that actually sucks.
Because we kind of grew to really love it.
Yeah, that's why we kept playing it. We're like,
The
oh, yeah,
moment
this will
I
be a
heard that song, I'm
quick
like,
take.
oh, this is the tune. This is fucking great.
See, we kept it on the album because we knew certain people would feel that way. We knew that song would be
It's like a
like,
video.
some people would be
Video.
like, what's this? And certain proggy kind of fans would be like, oh, cool.
Yeah. What
But,
about in terms? Have you guys? You obviously started writing.
Yes.
And we don't want to say too much. We're not allowed to tell people that we know things. But how has the vibe been with writing and in terms of like direction and all that sort of stuff? How is there any surprises? Any out of our comfort zone moments that you've been working on and things like that?
There's definitely intention for that. And there's a bunch of ideas that do touch on that.
Yeah, sorry, I was just, thank you. You've been
Johnny
distracting me
always
too much.
distracts in interviews.
Yeah, seriously. You're all over me today.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, I think that there's been discussions. We've discussed what we'd like to accomplish for this record, and the last record was the first time we actually did that for the first time. Set out with a bit of a goal. I feel we accomplished it. We wanted something dark. We wanted something reflective at the time, and we know what we want for this one. But so far, the writing has been just kind of wherever.
Yeah.
You know, we're not rigidly going, this is the album we want, so we have to make sure every song comes out that way. There's stuff, you know, Rick's writing some really heavy stuff at the moment, which is we've all been really gravitating towards. It's felt fun. There's a song floating around right now that Dan wrote actually that's essentially just a radio rock track that we all probably fits more on the album, and then we're all really keen to kind of like see where that goes, but not necessarily indicative of the album that we plan to have. But
No.
sometimes it's kind of more exciting to get that stuff early and feel like you're kind of going this way and that
It
way.
also
and
might
then-
pull you in a direction that
Yeah.
you might not like. If you have no set intention from the get-go, then
That's
it can
it,
help
yeah.
lead you.
Yeah.
And we're also kind of like...
So I was gonna say, like, we got that song together, and then we kind of got another 2 or 3 rockier songs on the go, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
we're not gonna write this album.
guys,
So
are
now
we-
we know that
are we
we have
free?
these boundaries.
We love
Yeah, well,
Green.
it's like it was much more sad rock. But
Oh.
but at the same
Green
There's,
is
al-
so
there's,
good.
there's, some,
Way
there's some
down.
bug rock too. There's this one track that we always joke about which album that's going on one day, and I'm like, I don't know, that could go on any album. But it's not a finished song, but holy shit, the bug rock is strong.
yeah, it's always
But
those
the
early
thing is-
stages where you have all these kind of webs going out, and you're like, okay, like we can go in both directions, but we just
Yeah.
we just got to temper the line. And
For
like,
the
Yeah.
first
alright,
time
yeah.
ever, I think we're also kind of at a point where with songs being written, we're like, well, that's not going to go on this record, but beyond that, maybe. So
Yeah,
we've kind of gone, that's worth finishing. We'll put it to the side now. We maybe don't need it, but I'm excited to get into that because it might not be this record, but it's definitely something.
Yeah.
Maybe
Not to
like-
blow smoke though, like in terms of like, you know, people obviously say rock tracks and it can sort of come across, you know, like to some fans like, oh, we don't want to hear them go in that direction. But if anybody has the personnel to do it, it's you guys. You're all extremely competent musicians. Like this is
Rocky's
blowing. And you guys have 2 really strong vocalists. Not many bands can say that they have 2 vocalists that can play off each other and write some really solid rock-leaning stuff. So I guess it's just
Yeah,
more
that
of
is
a
true. Like
comfort
there's
zone.
a there's a comforting side to that for sure, but then it's also like it is a comfort zone thing of like, okay, but how do we do that over? Because usually when we have those kind of songs, it might touch 2, maybe 3 songs on the record.
Yeah.
So if we were gonna push into a zone beyond it, it's like, okay, we really need to flex this muscle and kind of like
For
pull
sure.
out some songs that we hadn't done before, which that makes it a bit more daunting. But we'll always have some heavy tracks. Like
course.
we don't want to go up.
Yeah.
We don't want to be like, all right, new album tour, nobody mosh. Like, no, like that's,
Stop that.
For us, we
Jumping
do
is-
enjoy experimenting with the softer stuff because it's for us it is an experiment because we didn't grow up with it. We grew up writing and playing metal in metal bands, listening to metal bands, and the melodic stuff is usually like a departure. So there is an interest there, but that's almost like we do that for the fun, but the metal stuff just comes naturally. The heavy stuff usually comes naturally. Like I feel like
It's always going to be
any
a part of your
record we
DNA.
would write, even if it was really far from the genre we are now, I don't think we would be content with it if you couldn't still call it heavy music.
For
It's
sure.
probably where we always want to sit.
yes.
It's not heavy music. It's just Polaris.
Well,
you are their own genre.
gentlemen.
But you see,
Sure.
it's not that hard to understand though anymore because you've got bands like Bring Me that have kind of demonstrated how that can look, how you can be a rock band for a minute, or you can be doing electronic stuff for an album, and then you can go back the other way. And instead of abandoning any one thing, it still kind of comes to be facets of the sound.
New Architects record just came out. It's got plenty of mix. Spirit Box has just come out today. That's got some mix in it too. Like,
That's always been our
every-
ethos, and I think that other bands are also doing it really well these days. It's almost a kick up our ass to be like, let's push further.
So what
Let's
we're
see
saying
what
is,
else there
don't
is.
expect anything.
No.
Yeah,
You get what you
please,
give and you'll enjoy it.
genuinely
Boys,
Expect nothing.
we love you. No matter what you do, we love you.
It was nice to actually talk seriously for a moment, you know. But we do
Are
love
we
talking
going to
shit,
do that?
guys. Nah, we're done.
Maybe next time.
Thanks, boys. Love you guys. Cheers, guys.
Thanks so much, Phil. Appreciate it.